24. Start. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today is our second lecture. So the topic is good news messages and bad news messages. So here, this message. You understand that when we try to send our message to others, so there are two kinds of messages. That is one is good news message and other is bad news message. Now, what is good news message? It is a message which contains positive news and receives an efficient response from the reader. So when the receiver receives your message, he feels happy and glad and receives the good response from the reader. So commonly delivering these messages is very convenient because they contain the objective that offer comfort to a reader and leave a pleasant thoughts. So good news messages always contain pleasant thoughts, happy news, good news, so which gives comforts to the reader. So when reader receives the message, he becomes very much glad and happy to receive that message. That message is called as a good news message. Then he will announce, oh yes, I have today received a good news message. Suppose you are sitting in a dull or gloomy mood in your room. So suddenly you receive the phone from an office, and the assistant of that office tells you that you have been selected for the post applied. And you have applied for a post, for a job. So you are now receiving the message from the assistant of the office of that company or organization or department that you have been selected for the applied post. So what will be the effect on your mind? Naturally, आप खिल उठेंगे और you will feel much more glad, and you will be pleased to listen that news and will rush to your parents to share that good news message. I have got today good news message. There is a good news message for you. All parents will pay attention to you. Oh, what's that? So you say, yes, I am going to tell you good news message. Then he opens the message by telling them in words, okay, I have just received a call from such and such office, and I have been selected for a very good post for which I had applied. So that's good news message for you, not only for you, but for your parents and any other. Suppose there is a student. He has appeared in entry test for the selection in medical or engineering college, or you see that in a university. So he is waiting for the result, whether he has been selected or not. He has been admitted in that office, in that university or college or not. So at the time when he received the message through a call, he received the phone call from the office of the university that you have passed the entry test and you have been selected for the category of the course which you have applied, and it is your choice. So again, this will be good news message for you. You will feel very happy that you have got the course of your own choice. So these kinds are of good news messages, which pleases you and brings a healthy effect on your mind, on your face, on your attitude, and you feel very much happy that you call it good news message. Okay, now after this we can say that writing good news message also not a hard task. So it's not difficult to write a good news message because you have good news, happy news for the reader, so you can write very quickly. But somewhat it will be difficult to write a bad news message because you will think 100 times, how can I, how should I write the bad news message that he affords to listen calm and quietly. Anyway, here we are talking about the good news message. So, to enhance the beauty of these messages, if you want to increase the beauty of these messages, writing an effective professional language along with decent words and formal structure are basic things that we need to know. So, good news message is good news message, but you can enhance the beauty of message by using some, you see that, uh, beautiful professional language and selecting the beautiful words, selecting the decent words, and you would like to make a formal structure of that good news message. So it will, you see that, again it will be looking attractive for the reader.
लेक्चर खत्म किए हैं तो बंद कर शीजिए बस.
Examples of good news messages. Now, for example, thank you messages. Suppose you receive a message, the other side has thanked you for your good attitude, for doing something good for that side. So naturally, if I receive thanks message, okay, I have done a great thing for another side, and they have thanked me. That is thank you messages. Now this is only a heading or topic. How can we write thank you messages? Which needs a format, which needs a letter in which we expresses our thanks to other side, thanks to the receiver, thanks to the reader. Now, congratulatory messages. Again, this is to send congratulatory messages for any good news message. Oh yes, congratulations, my dear. You have been selected as a member of a cricket team, which is going to, you see that, to play matches in England. Now this is a great congratulation. Oh yes, you are a cricket player and you have worked very hard. You have showed your nerves, strong nerves while playing in the training. You see that, games there you have been selected by the selection team, and then you see the receive you congratulatory messages from the, you see that, office. Okay, you have been selected to play test matches in England. So this will be congratulation message, recommendation message. Recommendations, and someone recommend you to recommend you for a next job, for a next assignment. Okay, I hereby recommend you to I ha- here I hereby recommend you to submit your, uh, you see that, uh, to submit your work, or you see that your proposals for research paper, this and that. So this is recommendation, inquiries and replies, requests and responses, orders and acknowledgements, routine claims and adjustments. Now, these all headings or topics are examples of good news messages because all these kinds of messages will pleases you, will it bring and will bring a healthy effect on your mind, on your psyche, and all these messages are called as you see that good news messages. Now, thank you messages, so, as I have here written the examples. What are the examples? One of those is you see that thank you messages. Now, what is thank you messages? Thank you messages maintain friendships and build goodwill. Whenever you receive a help, guidelines from your friends, from your teachers, from your relatives, then you smilingly say them, "Oh, thank you, sir." So what will do this thank you message? It will just develop your friendships and goodwill between you and the person whom you are thanking. So thank you messages always thank you messages always brings you that uh, healthy effect on the listeners or on the receivers. Now, thank you messages. How you will begin? You should begin thank you messages with good news, offer extra details, and with emphasis on the receiver. You may note that these are tips, these are guidelines to write thank you messages. How can we write thank you messages? That will be a letter to the receiver in, in which you will explain your thanks to the receiver for any kind of action which you have received from for any kind of good action, beneficial action, and that is very much useful for you. So now you express your thanks, you express your regards to that person whom you have got somewhat benefits, some kinds of guidelines, some kinds of you see that good news messages. So naturally you will express thanks to that person. So how you start your you see the good news messages with yes, thank you messages will be started with good news messages, and then you will offer extra details and with emphasis on the receiver. I see. Now this we are talking about thank you messages. Okay, thank you messages always should be start with good news message, so that it may brings healthy effect effect on the you see that reader or the listener. उसके बाद आपने अंदर में जो सपोर्टिंग सेंटेंसेस हैं, सपोर्टिंग डिटेल्स हैं, you will you are just mention. And how will you close the thank you message? Always you will give the importance to the receiver, because when you thank the receiver for his help, naturally you had to focus on the receiver. He receives the message, and so you will give the much more importance to receiver. And this is थैंक वैसे भी किसी का शुक्रिया अदा किया जाता है, तो जाहिर है आप उस जिसका शुक्रिया अदा कर रहे हैं उसको बहुत अहमियत देंगे, बहुत इज्जत देंगे, बहुत प्यार देंगे. सो इन द क्लोजिंग सेंटेंसेस you will emphasize on the position or the on the position of the receiver. Now, congratulatory messages. Now, as we discussed in previous slides, the kinds of messages. This is the these are examples of good news messages. One of those is thank you messages. We talked, and now second is congratulatory messages. Congratulatory messages create positive impressions and build goodwill. So, yeah, congratulatory messages also create the same effect as you write thank you messages. It will, you see, that build friendship and goodwill, and also in congratulatory messages, it will also create positive impressions and build goodwill. Suppose you you send a congratulatory letter to a candidate, or to your friend कि भाई हमने जो इंटरव्यू दिया था फलां जगह पे एडमिशन के लिए या किसी पोस्ट के लिए, तो आपको मुबारक हो, आपने उसमें क्वालिफाई कर लिया है। अब भेजने वाले आप हैं, कांग्रेचुलेशन, मुबारकबाद आप दे रहे हैं, तो नेचुरली इट विल create positive impressions on, you see, that receiver, and it will also develop goodwill between the receiver and you. So how can you begin the congratulatory messages? Begin, start by offering congratulations, by telling congratulations. Oh yes, congratulations. You have got the contract. You have got the contract. You have got the admission. You have been selected for the post. You have been selected to play the cricket test matches in London. So you just start your congratulatory messages with the offering congratulations with the offering, you see, that good news message. Provide extra details reflecting your sincerity. Oh yes, this is very important. Now here, after, you see, when you congratulate the receiver, then you will just mention the additional details which will show your sincerity, friendship, and loyalty, okay, how much you are sincere, a friend to the receiver. So these are the points or tips to write the congratulatory messages. Congratulatory messages में ऐसा नहीं होगा कि आप ऐसी चीज़ें उसमें रिफ्लेक्ट करें कि आपने उसको इन्फॉर्मेशन तो दी, और रुखेपन से आपने उसको मुबारकबाद भी दी, उसमें आपके लहजे में या इन योर वर्ड्स you do not show your sincerity. So how can you say that that attitude, that response will create, you see, that goodwill, or will bring some positive impressions on the receiver. So you need to express your sincerity while writing or while sending congratulatory messages, and with emphasis on the receiver. Again, this is as in this thank you messages में भी हमने add किस तरह करेंगे, emphasis on the receiver, and in the, you say, congratulatory messages, yes, you were very much good at giving. You were very much, you see, that uh, good in your interview. You showed your efficiency. You have used the way to convince the employer. So that's why you have been selected. You have been offered a job. So what is this? This is just it will create the, you see, that importance for the receiver. So receiver will feel happy. Okay, yes, I was capable to qualify this entry test, or I was capable to qualify for the post. So these are tips to how can we write congratulatory messages, inquiries and replies. Now, reply messages, answer, inquiry messages, and you have conducted an inquiry, so you have completed your inquiry regarding any problem, regarding any matter, any issue that has been signed to you, that has been asked you to conduct an inquiry. Now, what will you do when you see that complete your job, when you complete your assignment, and when you complete your inquiry regarding that you see that matter, then what will you do? And you see that you will reply, you will send a reply messages to the concerned quarters. So in which you see that reply message, what will you do? How will you start? State the good news by answering questions and emphasizing the you attitude. Now, always good news message starts with good attitude, good impressions, happy news. So in here is you see that reply to an inquiry messages. So you will answer the questions and emphasizing the you attitude. You attitude means whom you are talking. Suppose I am talking to you, I am delivering lecture, I am explaining good news messages, bad messages. So if I say, oh yes, you are very good students, you are very regular and uh, you are very regular students, and you are very competitive students, you are very obedient students. Now what does it show? It shows you attitude. So we should use the you attitude to the receivers, to the readers, so that he will get receive the positive you see that effect on his mind, and he will be feeling very much happy. उसके बाद include any additional pertinent information. After that, you have to include what you have to include. You have include additional important information. That information is everlasting, creating much more happiness in the receiver, and with goodwill statement. So this is second kind of message, good news message, that is inquiries and replies, and inquiries and replies. Now here is example of right right way to congratulate any receiver. Suppose you are writing a congratulations message to Tori. Tori is the name of a person. So due to your excellent sales record, now what is here? Your excellent sales means your excellent sales, because your excellent sales. So here's you attitude. So due to your excellent sales and record, perfect attendance, and high evaluations from customers and co-workers, you have been selected as employee of the month. Now what is this? This is you are going to send a congratulation message to the receiver. So you are starting with good words. Okay, because of your excellent sales record, you are employee of a company where you are uh, s- uh, on the selling section, in the selling section. So, so you have increased the sale of the products of the company. So that is a record. So the sender tells him that also they the sender also or the company or the office, उसमें एक सेक्शन होते हैं कि जो the performances of the employees of the company is observed and record all the things about their karkardagi, about their performance, okay, how's his attitude to the customers, how much he has played his role in increasing the sale of. So uh, what is his role in increasing the sale of the products of the company? That is all record of all the employees is to be maintained in the company. So he says, okay, you will receive, okay, you have been selected as employee of the month. You have been selected as a student of the month. Now you are selected as a student of the month, the best student of the month. How? Because you are very much regular and punctual, and you see that very obedient, have done your homework, and and have observed very much discipline, and you see that with you see that responsibilities, and you have commanded the respect of your students, you have commanded the respect of your teachers, and through your good attitude you have commanded the attention of the HOD. So that's why you have been selected as the student of the month. So in this way, we we encourage the students to show their positive role in the class, in the learning, so that ultimately it will be in the interest of the you see the student. So what is this? This is these are all words which I mentioned for you as a student. And first, there was you see that there are expressions of the sender of a company for his employee. So all these words we need. These are you see that tips. Again, you can keep it in mind. Okay, while reading congratulation letters to the receiver, naturally you have to explain, emphasis, you attitude, that what you have done, how much you have played a very effective role in the company, in the office. So that's why you have been selected as an employee of the month. That's why you have been selected as the best student of the class of this month. So you will receive a plaque and a $1,000 American Express gift and card when you are officially recognized at Monday's staff meeting. Now, Monday's staff meeting will be conducted on such and such date, on such and such day, at times and such time. Therefore, in that meeting, you will get, you see that 100 American dollars and express gift card. तो वो जो गिफ्ट कार्ड होता है उसमें एक्सप्रेस किया जाता है कि हाउ मच यू आर बेनिफिशियल फॉर द कंपनी, हाउ मच यू हैव डन गुड थिंग्स, हाउ मच हैव यू delivered very good things for the benefit of the company. That's why company has recognized your efforts and services. In return, company has decided to select you as the employee of this month. So these are acknowledgements and achievements on your part. So so we look forward to acknowledge your achievements and Monday's meeting and appreciate the great example you set for other employees. Keep up the great work. So when anybody keeps some different examples, set some different examples by his actions, by his performances, by his good attitude, and he वो बिल्कुल पूरे स्टाफ में पूरे एम्प्लॉइज में बिल्कुल डिफरेंट लगता है. यू कैन आल्सो ऑब्जर्व इन योर क्लास कि वन गर्ल स्टूडेंट और वन बॉय स्टूडेंट looks very, you see that different, very obedient, very smart, clean, and you see that well dressed and regular and punctual, and his response to the teacher very positive. So all these things will make him different in the class. And उसका जो कद जो है ना वैसे जितना होता है वो तो होता है, मगर इसका कद बड़ा हुआ नजर आता है पूरे क्लास में. इन द सेम वे अगर किसी कंपनी में किसी कारखाने में वर्कशॉप में कोई एम्प्लॉय काम करता है तो उसका भी जो है ना अपने काम के हिसाब से उसका कद बड़ा होता है. यानी वो he gets the importance in the eyes of his co-workers. He gets the importance, you see that in the customers, and therefore the employer recommends him as the best employee of the month. So he in the end, what is the receiver, what is the sender say will emphasis what? Again he emphasis on your achievement. He emphasis on the receiver to create goodwill between the receiver and the company. So what the company says, the representative on behalf of the company, what says, we look forward to acknowledging your achievements at Monday's meeting, and appreciate the great example you set for other employees. So आपने बहुत example set किए हैं for other employees, and that will encourage the employees to keep up the great work. So in the same way, if a student is encouraged by giving certificate to to acknowledge his achievements, so in this way that student will be encouraged and will be honored by the teacher or by the department. So in this way, other students will be, you see that convinced to work something good or great, so that they can also get some appreciations from the class teacher or from the department. Now this is totally about the congratulations, and start with you said uh, offering congratulations, and उसके बाद जो आपने देखा कि the sender also mentioned the details reflecting your sincerity, and when you praise anybody and recognize the efficiency or efforts of anybody, naturally it will reflect your sincerity. So instead of you see the right way of congratulating, you can also congratulate anybody in a wrong way. वो सही तरीका था, अब ये गलत तरीका क्या है? To read, you have been selected as employee of the month, and you will receive $100 as a gift card. ये गिफ्ट कार्ड है वो $100 का है, वो आपको दिया जाएगा. अब ये दो लाइंस, in two lines he sends congratulation, you see that, letter to the receiver, to the employee. So this is the wrong way, because it does not create it does not build up the goodwill between the sender and receiver. It will not create the effect or healthy effect on the receiver. ऐसे सूखा सूखा बेरौनक किस्म का अल्फाज, तो बिल्कुल it will not work on the receiver's mood and mind, psychology. Now this was good news. This was all about the good news messages. Now we'll talk about the bad news messages. The indirect pattern. एक पैटर्न होता है डायरेक्ट. किसी को डायरेक्ट जो है, you are telling, you see that, bad news message. Directly you can tell them, okay, your father has been expired, your brother has been expired, or you have been dismissed from your service, this and that. But this is direct, and it will bring unhealthy effect on the receiver. So you just create a buffer zone. So how will you tell, okay, yes, there was a dangerous accident of your brother's car with another car. So your brother has been seriously injured in road accident, and he has been shifted to, you see that, he was shifted to the hospital. Now this is buffer. This is, यानी एक आस्ता से अब जब when he listened the bad news message from the receiver, from the sender. So sender creates somewhat positive opening. If he first lines tell that your brother has been injured in a road accident, so इसमें there would be 50-50 chances कि he may, you see that, leave the world, or he will be just sustain the injuries and will be all right within a passage of time. So it will create, you see that, neutral and positive opening. Now, but the receiver will be ready now for bad news messages. So he'll feel somewhat strong to listen any bad news. बट अचानक अगर आपने उसको बैड न्यूज़ सुनाएंगे तो वो तो एक पत्थर की तरह उसको जहन पे लगेगा ना. बट यू सी दैट यू मस्ट क्रिएट बफर. बफर क्या होता है कि थोड़ी मुश्किल से, थोड़े टफ बात से फिर आगे चलकर आप उसको वो भयानक और जो खबर है या जो मैसेज है वो आप सुनाएंगे तो वो उस तरह हो जाता है. इस तरह भी होता है कि मिसाल के तौर पर आप you have worked for hours. Now you are sweating, आपको पसीना आ रहा है, आपका जिस्म पूरा गर्म हो गया है. तो what will you do? You will create buffer zone. How? First you will just wash your mouth, wash your hands, and pass water on, you see that, arms, and then you see that little bit water on your eyes, and in this way then you just use water on your legs, and then you make shower on other parts of the body. Slowly and gradually your body will be, you see that, neutral, and will be ready to receive the shower. But agar you are just very hot, you are sweating, so suddenly you are getting shower, then you may fall ill. So ये एक होता है कि आप थोड़ी सी मुश्किल थोड़ी सी मुश्किल से स्टार्ट करें और आस्ता आस्ता आप ऊपर जाएं और आखिर में वो जो है ना एक्सप्लेनेशन करेंगे बैड न्यूज़ को, तो उसमें जो है द रिसीवर विल बी somewhat ready to receive the bad news messages. So bad news are clear but understand it, but understated means very important or with effective manner announcement of the bad news that may include uh, an alternative or compromise. Suppose you are sending bad news messages, okay, your you have been uh, you are no more you see that employee of this company, but be sure because of you that uh, reigning position are locked down, all the things have been closed, so there is need of less employees in this company. But as soon as the conditions, the environmental conditions will be favorable, then you may be called once again. So ये क्या है? ये एक अनाउंसमेंट है कि उसको कुछ you make him mentally well ready to accept that bad news. Okay, now I have been uh, dismissed, or I have been, you see, my services have been finished, but after some time it is possible कि आप उसको फिर ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं. तो क्लोजिंग केस पर्सनलाइजिंग फॉरवर्ड लुकिंग प्लेजेंट स्टेटमेंट, avoiding three causes of legal problems. Abusive language को आप you will avoid abusive language. Defamation, use of any language that harms a person's reputation. Now, if you are harming any person's reputation, so he can claim, he can give you legal, you see the notice that you have defamed him. So this must be avoided in bad news messages. Libel, written confirmation, written defamation. यानी एक तो होता है कि आदमी वर्डली कुछ चीज़ें, इफ यू आर गिविंग एनीथिंग wrong or misuse language in written, that's the that may create problems in future for you. So careless language, statements that are potentially damaging or that could be misinterpreted. The factory is too hazardous for tour groups. So you should not mention such statements which damage uh, you see that damage the receiver personality or it creates misunderstanding between you and employees, between you and the company. Now avoid the three causes of legal problems. Good guy syndrome. Statements that ease your conscience or make you look good. I thought you were an excellent candidate, but we had to hire. Now, what is this? This is this is starting to console the receiver. Okay, no doubt, uh, no doubt, You were an excellent candidate, but among excellent candidates, there there must be one candidate. There one candidate maybe you see that selected. So if there are four excellent candidates, you are one of those. So but the company or the selection committee has hired that person. So I'm very sorry. Okay, you have not been selected and you are in waiting list. Whenever we feel the need of another, you see that employee, we will call you later on. So your name is in waiting list and you are the top of the list. Now what is this? This is also, you see that, but you will not, you see that, given written, okay, you are this and this, and so but you have not been selected. If uh, you are confirming, acknowledging that this that uh, uh, the candidate is very, you see that, good, excellent candidate, but he has not been selected for the applied post. So that candidate can give you legal notice. Okay, when you have declared, you see that, excellent candidate, you have declared me as a excellent candidate. So now I'm entitled to get the job at your company. Why don't you select me? So avoid these type of words which create legal problems for you. Now, bad news message के लिए you need some techniques for first paragraph of bad news message. Begin with a buffer. Again, the same word means you begin with uh, little things to higher things. Begin with little things to great things. Begin with it of less pains or troubles that may create, you see that, some good expectations, but finally, while you are uh, you are making him prepared to listen bad news message. So that is called buffer. Start your bad news message with buffer. So something about which both sides can agree. So when you start with the consolations or with facts and figures and creating some hopes for future, in this way, the person who receive bad news, he will, you may create, you see that, uh, good relation or sincerity with the person who has been uh, shortlisted in the interview or who has been uh, asked, who has been called to lead the, who has been informed that his job has been finished. So उसमें अगर आपने उसको अच्छी तरह से आराम से उसमें उसको बताया भी है कि आपका ये काम ख़त्म हो गया है या आप ये नहीं हो सकें, ये हो सकें, मगर उसमें आप फिर एक उम्मीद भी कर सकते हैं और यू एटीट्यूड भी कर सकते हैं कि उसमें फिर थोड़ा सा बोथ साइड्स में एक अंडरस्टैंडिंग क्रिएट हो सकती है. अवॉइड एम्प्टी एक्नॉलेजमेंट्स ऑफ द ऑब्वियस. यानी वो जो एक्नॉलेजमेंट आप कर रहे हैं, एक्नॉलेज जो कर रहे हैं, यू आर डूइंग सम एक्नॉलेजमेंट्स टू द रिसीवर, so that should not be, you see, empty. Avoid tipping off the bad news too early. So avoid starting too positive so as to build false hopes. Now, यानी इसको आप अवॉइड करें कि स्लोली सो टू स्लोली यू आर मेंशनिंग कि द रिसीवर does not, you see that, cannot wait till the last words of your bad news message. So this should not be, you see that, uh, uh, done by you. So just create buffer zone and come to the point and tell him frankly that what has been done to him. But you must not be, you see that, so too positive. eh? Okay, those that you are trying to create false hopes in the mind of receiver. So false hopes को भी create नहीं करना चाहिए receiver को. So you must be, yes, positive. You must be positive by showing your sincerity. आपको हमदर्दी होनी चाहिए उस रिसीवर से कि उसका नुकसान हुआ है या कोई हादसा हुआ है या कोई उसकी नौकरी चली गई है या कुछ उसमें आपकी सिंसियरिटी तो हो, मगर इतना भी आप उसको पॉजिटिव न हो कि योर वर्ड्स, your attitude creates, you see, that false hope. ओ यस, इन्होंने मुझे निकाल तो दिया है, इस तरह तो हो गया है, मगर ये हम मुझे ये हो जाएगा, अच्छा हो जाएगा मेरे लिए एक दो दिन में. तो दिस विल क्रिएट false hopes in the mind of receiver. Just you tell him, you see, that bad news message, and there must be sincerity in you by showing some words, but it should not create false hopes in the mind of receiver. Techniques for bad news sentence. Place negative news in varied position. वो जो नेगेटिव न्यूज जो है ना, वो जरा ढकी छुपी हो, आस्ता आस्ता उसको खोलना चाहिए, न कि डायरेक्टली यू आर जस्ट टेलिंग द नेगेटिव न्यूज. Avoid unnecessary use of negative words. Yes, when you are telling any bad news messages, so your bad news sentence should not start with, you see, that unnecessary, unimportant, irrelevant use of negative words. Yes, you can tell him about the bad news, prepare him to listen the bad news message, but you should not use, you see, that unnecessary negative words which may create, you see, that havoc or great troubles for the receiver. State the bad news once. Avoid restating or returning to it. Yes, once you have mentioned the bad news, now you uh, build up another tone of your writing, and but you should not state again the bad news. You should not talk again about the bad news and returning again to the same bad news. Once you have expressed or told or informed the receiver bad news, then you see that your attitude should not be उसको ना अपने बैड न्यूज़ को अगेन अगेन कुरुद कुरुद के उसको आप बात करना चाहते हैं, तो उसको वो ज़्यादा हर्ट करेगा. तो अवॉइड टू हर्ट द रिसीवर. Emphasize any positive aspect. Follow bad news with a counter proposal when possible. As I told you, okay, now the company has shortlisted the employees because of coronavirus. So, as company uh, has been failed to sell the products and there's no demand of the products, so company has shortlisted the employees. But I hope in after 1 month or 2 months, when the conditions will be normal, again the company will be in need of the, you see, that workers or employees. So the waiting list has been prepared by the administration, and you are on the top of the list. So what is this? This is counter proposal for the receiver who has received the bad news. Now, techniques of for closing paragraph. Now, convey an emphatic tone. Avoid returning to the bad news. Yeah, just we discussed this. Avoid trite, worn out statements that seem shallow and superficial. तो आपको एक टायरिंग स्टेटमेंट्स, hurting state type of statements, this tone of the uh, writing or talking must be avoided, and end with a positive forward looking. End with a positive forward looking idea. As मैंने अभी I mentioned कि ये no doubt आप फारिग हो गए हैं अपनी नौकरी से, मगर हमने शॉर्ट लिस्ट किया हुआ है, उसमें एक वेटिंग लिस्ट बनाई है. जैसे कंडीशंस बेहतर हो जाएंगी तो हम उस वेटिंग लिस्ट में से फर्स्ट जो लिस्ट बनाई गई है उसमें नंबर वाइज हम कंसीडर करेंगे, उसमें आप यू आर योर नेम इज ऑन द टॉप ऑफ द लिस्ट। तो अभी जो रिसीवर जो है वो बैड न्यूज़ तो उसने सुनी, मगर एक होप आप क्रिएट करते हैं कि हो सकता है कि एक दो महीने के बाद फिर मैं बरसर रोजगार आ जाऊं। Now, strategies for strong internal communication. हिकमत अमली कैसी होनी चाहिए फॉर स्ट्रॉन्ग इंटरनल कम्युनिकेशन? जो when you are going to communicate any message, for that you must make some strategies, some ways that how can you convey the bad news as soon as possible, give implies a complete rational explanation of the problem. आप बड़े पुरदलाइल एक्सप्लेनेशन वजाहत करेंगे कि क्यों आपको कंपनी से निकाला गया है, उसके जो वजूहत हैं वो आप यू हैव टू मेंशन, यू हैव टू एक्सप्लेन, so that company must try to justify its action. So you are not only one जिसको हमने फारिग किया है, मगर बहुत सारे एम्प्लॉइज जो है उनको फारिग किया गया है, तो उसमें से आपका भी नाम आ गया, क्योंकि कंपनी नीड्स लेस स्टाफ नाउ ड्यू टू डिमांड and supply. You see that problem. There's less demand now because all the things have been closed. अब उस कंपनी से जितने शॉप्स और दूसरी कंपनियां माल खरीदती थी, तो वो सारी all have been closed. So there's no demand from different corners to that company. So naturally the production will be affected, and it will be helpless to uh, produce or provide less production, so that company may be saved from the great losses. So अब अगर उस कंपनी को कम माल प्रोडक्शंस करनी है, तो उसके लिए उनकी एम्प्लॉइज के नंबर भी कम हो जाना चाहिए ना। इसलिए वो अगर 100 एम्प्लॉइज हैं, उसमें से 50 को वो फार कर देंगे, 50 रखेंगे, यानी दे विल हायर such number of the employees which 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 is required by the company according to the demand and supply. If demand is less, the supply will be less. If supply is less, the production will be less. Production will be less, so it means staff or employees will be less. So this is but natural. So what is this? These are rational explanation uh, uh, of the action or of the problem to the receiver. Show sympathy and respond to implies feelings, follow up. Now this is direct approach. The direct approach may be effective in the following situations: a routine matter on which the reader is likely not to be seriously disappointed or emotionally involved. So you have to take care of, you see that a person who goes to receive bad news message कि वो डिसअपॉइंट नहीं हो जाए, तो इसलिए आप जो है वो उसको डेली रूटीन मैटर के हिसाब से आपने उसको चीज़ें मेंशन करनी है, और विद इन द सेम फॉर्म्स, a routine matter on which the reader is likely not to be seriously disappointed. After that, a reader who knows to prefer reading the bad news in the first paragraph. Now you have to consider the psychology of the reader. Okay, he prefers bad news in the first paragraph. Now you are mentioning this. In the end, you are going to mention the bad news. So it will create frustration in the mind of reader. But some readers like to listen or read, you see that bad news in the first paragraph. An urgent message that should be called to readers' attention forcefully. So this is direct approach. As in the late stage, of a collection procedure. So agar you are you are telling him the bad news message in the end of the discussion or in the end of later, it will create, you see that uh, it will create, it will not get the attention of, you see that employee forcefully, but just you tell him message directly, then it will create the uh, attention of the receiver very very promptly and quickly. If writer decides to use direct approach, the pattern is same as the direct good news plan, except that the opening contains bad instead of good news. तो एक किसी को डायरेक्ट गुड न्यूज मैसेज भेजा जाता है तो उसमें भी प्लानिंग ऐसी होती है, ओ यस यू हैव बीन सेलेक्टेड, you have been appointed, you have been hired. What is this? This is good news message direct. In the first line, you are telling the good news message to the, you see that reader. In the same way, instead of good news message, you are telling bad news messages directly in the first paragraph. Bad news decision with or without brief buffer, explanation, appropriate, courteous ending. Achar. How will you close your, you see that message? That must be appropriate and courteous ending. Now this is direct approach example. Your request for vacation time from August 1st to 30 was not approved because it is over your vacation days entitlement of 10 days. A person has, you see that, applied for the vacation, but but the company has refused. So directly they reject the request of the applicant. Okay, your vacation time first, so 30 August is not approved because your vacation days, your entitlement of is of 10 days, and you are just you have requested leave for 1 month. So therefore, company is not usually in position to give you vacation for 1 month. Please resubmit your request for vacation days up to maximum of 10 days to HR as soon as possible. Now you have refused, but now you are creating hope and you are consoling, and you see that you are just uh, using your appropriate or courteous ending. What is courteous ending? Okay, yes, you resubmit your request for vacation. That request must be up to 10, maximum of 10 days. And this request must be sent to the HR, Human Resource Department, as soon as possible. जितना जल्दी हो सके आप फिर resubmit करें application. Now this is indirect approach. Example, thank you for submitting your request for 10 days of vacation. Your maximum entitlement in August. Summer is traditionally a time when many employees are out of the office and demands on the services and demands on the servers are reduced. So now indirectly you are explaining all the things. So this is your indirect approach, and in the end you see that you can say, as a result you request for vacation during August. अब इस महीने में जहाँ रश होता है, people are applying for the you see that leave in August. If more employees have applied for the vacation this August month, usually in the month of August. So it is therefore it is regretfully it is you see that your application has been not approved. So you are welcome to take vacation before and or after the project. So उसमें आप फिर एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं कि आप अप्लाई कर सकते हैं वैकेशन के लिए, किस टाइम पे वो उसको सजेस्ट किया जा रहा है। अच्छा, now here is Pioneer Palace, Sadar Karachi, 14th July 2020. Subject: Information about Hague Scholarship. Dear Amjad Ali, you are one of the best students of our university, and I am sorry to say that you are not completely overcome on our rules and regulations regarding Hague Scholarship, higher education कमीशन जो है उसके जो मैार के ऊपर आप it's no doubt you are good best student of our university, but what are you see that the rules and regulations आप है उसके उसके हिसाब से आप वो पूरे नहीं उतर रहे। your grades are below than our criteria, so no doubt you are best student, but of uh, your grades are uh, below the below than the criteria of Hague. That's why you are eligible for this scholarship, and you need to improve your grades to fulfill the requirements of Hague. अब देखें एक रिफ्यूज़ल तो हो गया है ना, ये बैड न्यूज़ तो हो गई, मगर इसमें अगेन यू आर क्रिएटिंग बफर जोन, और you are creating courteous attitude to the student, and you are showing sincerity, and you are suggesting him that no doubt you have not been selected because you are not qualifying the you see that for scholarships due to this reason. So but now if you improve your grades, naturally you will complete the requirements of Hague, and in resulting you can get the you see that scholarships in future. Now, dear Mr. Bad News Letter, dear Mr. Waters, unfortunately, we cannot allow you to apply the lease payments you have been making for the past 10 months towards the purchase of your Psycho, Psycho 600 copier. सो इसमें भी बैड न्यूज़ जो है वो लेटर लिखा गया है उसको कि आपको जो अनफॉर्चुनेटली वी कैनॉट अलाउ यू टू अप्लाई द लीज पेमेंट्स। तो ये भी एक बैड न्यूज़ लेटर है, एंड यू सी दैट नाउ टाइम इज गोइंग टू बी फिनिश्ड नेक्स्ट वीक, next week before starting you see that new topic, I will discuss this slide before I will discuss this slide before starting new topic in that week. So now I give you good news message. I am going to close my lecture. Thank you. Good luck.